Hey, greetings YouTube, Performance Reviews, where I give you the review from the technician's point of view. And today we have a Shark NV750. And this is a powered liftoff machine by Shark. And we're gonna go give it a full in-depth review. We'll go in the shop, we'll take it apart, we'll talk about what makes this thing tick, and why I may or may not recommend this machine. Now, if you're new to the channel, we do things different. We do independent reviews, so you're gonna hear a real review, an actual opinion from a human being, not from a soundstage, not a paid promotion. And that's the thing, Shark has a lot of paid promotion out there, so keep in mind when you're looking for reviews, almost every review of this product is a paid promotion. This one is not. Also, if you're new to the channel, I'm Performance Reviews. I have over 2 decades of experience in the vacuum cleaner industry, so I may know a thing or two about vacuum cleaners. All right, let's start with the features of this machine, because that's kind of what sells this. Is this machine has a lot of features, some of which are a little silly, some of which make sense. So let's go over what we have here. You have a pretty short, almost comically short cord on these machines. One of the things that has always been problematic about Shark is this wand is also the handle. So if you listen to it, throughout the review, you're going to hear it crinkle and crack. It's just how it is. Now this cord's supposed to lock up here so you don't run over it. They mount it low in order to save money. It's one of the cost-cutting measures. The problem with that is when we do want to use the wand or the accessories, now I can pick up the whole machine. Unfortunately, until we undo that clip, now we can use the wand. And then you have this hose that clamps on there, and that hose it's just floppy. Even if you secure it, it is still creating a lot of momentum as you're using it. So it makes this thing feel very awkward in the hand compared to just about any other vacuum. And it's just like one of the first things I noticed when I first saw a Shark years ago is just how awkward and bulky the handle is. That being said, this machine does have an interesting party trick. Rather than just making a traditional canister vacuum, what they have done is make it a lift away. So you undo the motor and this piece. And on some of the older models, this would have a set of wheels that would go into, but they've stopped doing that. So now you have, in order to get low or under something, you have this. And it just feels very, it doesn't articulate right in your hand like this either. And Shark did make a model where they had this as a power head in a canister, which makes a little bit more sense than how they've done it here. This is all just kind of awkward, and it's like, again, using this as kind of a copium is that you were either too cheap or not knowledgeable to just go out and find a normal canister vacuum. This so happens to just be sitting here, but this is a Cibo D4. This is a completely different class of machine, I understand that, but just a canister vacuum with wheels and a normal power head is just so much more maneuverable than something like this Shark. Again, you could interchange this with a different brand, but it's just, as I've used this Shark in my house, I just noticed how weird and bulky the whole thing is. Now, another weird thing about this is its control scheme. You have the on and off switch here, which is great. Then you have a hard floor, and then 2 different carpet settings. Now, this is not actually physically raising the head of the carpet. Instead, you'll see that there's vents on either side of this. What that's doing is bleeding air out. So rather than having proper height adjustment for the carpet, this just bleeds air out right here. So if you put this on the high pile, that's going to be bleeding out. If you put it on the low pile, that's full suction. And this leads to me to one of the first common problems, is that this rattles loose right here over time. And even if you press it in, it will eventually rattle loose again. So the connection could be a lot better. You could, of course, remedy that with some adhesive or duct tape, I'm sure, but you shouldn't have to do that. I really like the light in the handle. I think that's a cool idea. The handle, as far as in my big man hands, it is a little bit small and cramped, but I think most people that's not going to be a problem. One of the problems with Shark, what they give you is what you're going to get. So mine has a nice crevice tool and an upholstery tool on board. Both great things, both very functional. The upholstery tool swivels, lint pickers, no problems with either of these tools. The problem is these are all the tools that you might get. Shark doesn't use the same fitting, and they don't use a standard industry fitting. So if you're looking for a dusting brush or powered pet tool, if it doesn't come with your machine, it's just not available. Next, let's talk about maintenance. The Shark is a bagless vacuum, which means you have a canister that lifts off and you go outside and you empty it. And a lot of people associate bagless with no maintenance, and that's just not true. So what's nice about this bin design is, unlike Dyson or some of the Bissells, you can get in here and you can clean this off, you can wash this out, and you're gonna have to do that fairly regularly. By the way, this is a really small bin. The actual dirt capacity of this bin is only this front small section, so you don't have a whole lot of capacity here, which means you're gonna have to stop and empty it probably multiple times if you have anything bigger than an apartment. Now, they do have 2 washable filters right here. Again, you can rinse these out, wash them. You should pretty much do that every time you vacuum. With this, they're gonna tell you 3 months. That's a little bit optimistic. It's just not gonna last that long. This is not a multi-cyclonic dustbin like the rest of the industry, so this is gonna just fill up and a lot of stuff's just gonna go right into those filters. And speaking of those filters, I will have a link below to a set on Amazon of all 3 of these filters, as well as the current price of this machine, which is usually on sale, so go check that out. That benefits the channel. But this is the HEPA filter, and you will have to change this every 1 to 3 months, depending on usage. This, plus buying these, are what you're buying instead of vacuum bags. All vacuums have expendables. This is no different. And I guess the last thing I want to mention is Shark's housing is supposed to be a sealed system. Unfortunately, the plastics they use are too low quality for the amount of heat the motor creates, so these tend to warp over time and do start leaking dust pretty fast. So if you do have allergies, you definitely just want to rule out bagless vacuums in general, but you definitely want to rule out cheaper bagless vacuums like this. Now, speaking of light, this thing has some nice LEDs on it. Unlike previous models, they actually do light the way, so I really do like that. I think that's, again, an improvement. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is if you have soft, plush carpet, anything past a medium carpet, this is going to be really hard to push. Again, there's no mechanical height adjustment like a typical vacuum would have, which means it becomes really hard to push. So on this soft carpet I have here, this is just extremely hard to push. And occasionally it just stalls like that and you have to reset it. Mindful if you were considering this or you bought this and it's just not working, that's one of the reasons. So this is really what's missing from the Shark, is this height adjustment. And I'm just using this old vintage sanitary just to show you because it's rather dramatic. But a height adjustment like this built into a vacuum when we're dealing with carpet is almost a must. And I wish Shark and many other manufacturers would just do this. It would make... Hey, welcome to the In the Shop portion of our Shark review, and today we're going to talk about repairing this, or lack thereof. You can actually open the head up if you need to get to something. You're going to do something like 14 screws. It is quite the hassle, and it's not meant for any users to be able to get in even at all. So if the micro switch fails, you can't get that. There are some generic brush rollers. Everything else is trash if it breaks. Now, if you go to Shark's website, they're happy to sell you a new head for about $140. They do also have some limited parts while we're on their website, not a whole lot. So if you break your bin or you lose your crevice tool, you can get that, but again, very limited. And that's what Shark is known for. They're known for being a disposable and replaceable vacuum. If the motor goes, if the cord goes, that's it. That's the end of it. And at the price point, it kind of makes sense, but also it's just not how we're used to doing things. So if we were going to say this is Clippy approved, no, this is about as far from Clippy approved and right to repair as you could get. Let's test the working vacuum of the Shark and see how it's doing in terms of suction. I've never actually tested one of these, so I'm curious to see. Those are really good results. I was not expecting 90 inches sealed and 48 inches working. That is really strong numbers, especially from something that's cheap. However, if you have to use it with the high pile carpet setting on here, those numbers go to 15 and 25, which means it's not cleaning your carpet. There are other companies who have made suction relief valves for high pile carpet, but they usually do it down in the nozzle and redirect the suction elsewhere in the nozzle on the floor. This is just redirecting the suction to your handle here. So depending on how you use it, this may or may not have great suction. All right, we've switched to the studio microphone. You're gonna hear the real sound of the machine running. We're gonna try doing this on the low pile carpet because we want to use the most suction, as I explained a little bit earlier. And you're gonna have to excuse the noise floor in here. We have the furnace running and air conditioning the house. It's about 100 degrees out where I'm at in Fahrenheit. So yeah, we want to keep the dogs happy in here. So we have our standard pickup test of fine sand, breakfast cereal, cat litter, and some stale pet hair. Let's see how the Shark does. First of all, it left very aggressive lines in the carpet. Ooh. It missed a bit of the animal hair. There's cat litter there. I just can't quite dig it up. There is cat litter. Not too much, but and then it did move. Snowplow, a little bit of breakfast cereal, and then ooh. Yeah, the fine sand is just like ground. Oh my gosh. It picked up very little of the fine sand. It actually ground it into the carpet. So that's not great. So we'll get the roller here. Yeah, the roller's intact. And I think what's making those marks are these bars right here on the front of it. And those are intended for larger item pickup on hard floor, but damn, on carpet. And then the hair just wrapped around the wheels, which is, again, not normal. We don't usually experience that, you know. I'm not going to knock it if there's hair stuck in the brush roller, but the fact that the hair just wrapped around there, that all happened while we were vacuuming just now. And I have seen these come in for service with these things full, and now I see why. Once again, you're going to hear the real sound of the machine, so headphones warning, we have fine sand, breakfast cereal, cat litter, and some animal hair. Let's see how it does on hard floor. I think that did pretty good, though it left the fine sand, you can see where it was. It kind of left a lot of that behind. So I guess if you have fine sand, this is not the machine for you. But if you have breakfast cereal and cat litter and animal hair, yeah, it will do that. All right, so it's a party trick of lifting off and getting under a bed. It does quite well. The only thing is that the canister moves around and flops around a lot. So you have to hold that while you're doing this. But if you're getting dust bunnies under furniture, that's where this really shines. And I think that's why a lot of people buy these, is it does solve the problem of a bagless upright getting under a bed. However, a canister vacuum would have just been a whole lot easier. However, the lift away function on stairs is terrible. You really can't use the power head on stairs, so you're just stuck using it basically as a handheld, bulky vacuum cleaner with the regular upholstery tool. And because of the stretch hose, it is just going to fall down the stairs if you don't hold it. So it is truly terrible on stairs. What are my final Sharks on the NV750 Rotator power lift away? That is a mouthful. So this is objectively better compared to the previous two Sharks I've tested, and it has more suction. The LED lights actually point in the right direction. That handle light is kind of nifty. Handle controls are also nifty, but it's still a Shark. It is still bulky, it is still unwieldy, and will make you dislike vacuuming. And I know these things go on sale. You can check the price down below if you want. That benefits the channel. But really, for the price of this of almost 400 bucks, spend a little bit more and get something not made in China that will last a lot longer. What do you think, Oreo? So those are kind of my final thoughts on this. Yes, it's an improvement. It's not worth twice as much as the other Shark vacuums, but if you're going to spend this money, you might as well just buy one of the German offerings. Thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if it helped you. Comment below your thoughts on this. We'd love to hear from you, and have yourself a wonderful day.